So, coming back to your business, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the opportunities over the next couple of years. You have around 8 million square feet right now
Yeah.
of operational area. And I think the average revenue per person is around 20,000
Yeah.
rupees. How much do you think you can scale up these two parameters over the next couple of years, just on an average?
So, we already have like 10 million square foot signed up and identified. So between where we are today at 7.5, 7.7, we already have identified up to 10 million in AUM, which is LOI signed, some are under fit out, and some are yet to be handed over. So that's already like, I think, whatever, 25-ish%, capacity growth just in the near term. we've we really see this as sort of like a consistent growth. So I think 20-30,000 desk additions year over year is something that we can easily do. Today, about 50% of our growth comes from our internal members itself growing. So as the base effect of our existing portfolio, the members that we have are just organically growing. Someone's business is 10 people today, they're just hiring 5 more people. All of that is happening at scale within the member base. So just to cater to that growth in the next year or two, we will have to do 20,000 desks just to cater to this organic growth. So there is some room to extend and kind of keep adding more than what we have in the past. We see this business, though, not necessarily as a linear business, in the sense that it's not just always about taking leases and adding capex to grow. There's opportunities now where through services and kind of new business lines which are adjacent to your workspace or this entire infrastructure part, that we can start offering to companies. That allows us to go a bit deeper into the wallet share of businesses.
Like what?
So let's say like transport as a service, for example, companies do that for their employees. F&B, catering, that's like a pretty large additional business. We are looking at employee engagement. So when you see Workspaces, the vibe is something that people just love. The energy that we create, we do events, something that's outside of your work environment. We can highly curate that specifically for a company also. When you're trying to build culture in your organization, you're trying to make it a great place to work, you want to attract the best talent. These are the things that you need to do, which if I'm building a technology business or I specialize in financial services, I don't necessarily know how to do that.
Yeah.
Or I have to hire an admin team, I have to hire people in my HR team to be able to do it, versus us being able to do it. And that's something that we're seeing become much more of a priority. Employee experience is driving how I attract the right talent. The amount companies are willing to pay on the environment that their employees work in today, the perks that they give, things like food and all of this stuff has gone crazy over the
Exponentially.
last.
In fact, I recently did an event at the WeWorks in
Yeah,
Bangalore,
yeah.
and it's very aesthetically done. It's really a premium
Yeah.
experience. It's very different from the other co-working spaces, and I'm sure there's a lot of competition in this space now with the likes of, like, say, an office or say co-works,
Yeah.
and so many small mom and pop shops coming up in every nook and corner. But do you feel the heat of competition, or do you think that your offering is so premium that it really is in another league?
I would say a bit of both. Definitely competition is heating up. We have, I think, 4 or 5 listed players now. So the biggest I would say barrier to this business at scale is capital, because we have to keep deploying capex to kind of grow the business. Now, when few of these operators have access to capital, there's going to be competition. I think clear differentiations come in like any other brand that we have to continue to focus on. So quality of product, quality of the service that we offer, how innovative are we going to be from a technology standpoint, from new products, is the network effect that we create something that is hugely valuable to our members that can become an intangible over time. I think that those are the things that we are focused on, to try to separate as much from the pack. At scale, though, today, most of the other operators play the value game. So, most operators are operating at like 8,000 rupees a desk. We are at, close to 20,000, like you said. So even at the same square footage, as the rest of the operators, or I think we have slightly less than one or two operators, our revenues are nearly double, profitability is nearly 3 times in terms of quantum that we're making. So with that with that view, I think that it's hard for people to really come close to where we are. But generally there is competition building up. I mean, there are 500 operators in India today, leaving
The large names aside.
yeah, I mean, 500 including everyone, which includes all these mom and pop ones that you're
That's a
talking about.
lot. And also, I mean, you said you made an interesting point. So you guys are at 20,000 rupees a desk, and there are people at 7,000 and 8,000. But India is a price conscious market, right? It may not be in the 1% of India, but in Bharat, if you're looking to sort of, broaden or diversify into tier 2, tier 3, do you think this price point will hold, or will you have to bring it down?
We're actually not going off. I mean, we're not looking to go into tier 2 and tier 3. Like I was telling you, who's employing everyone? It's still these global multinational businesses, right? And they're still chasing after the top end of the talent. So they want them to be in nice places, nice locations in the cities. This talent also doesn't want to necessarily live in tier 2, tier 3 market. Everyone's aspirational in India. They still want to come to Bombay or Bangalore, finally to find work, social infrastructures, schooling, better apartments, F&B. All those things are driving people still to the top 8 metros. I think India's migration is like 40-50% into the metros today. So almost 600 million people are going to come into the metro cities over the next few years. And it's largely driven by the fact that job opportunities and all of that continue to be within these cities. So our focus is, we want to just focus on these multinationals, top tier of Indian corporates, top tier of startups that will continue to be, in the top metro cities itself. And I think that for the quality that we put out, the type of service that we offer, we do need that price to be able to make sense. I think this is going to be the case maybe for the next 5 to 10 years, unless some city suddenly pops up and starts becoming, a huge hub. I don't think we're looking too much to expand into those cities. We just want to follow the demand, and the demand still continues to be within these top 8 cities.
It's interesting to say that, because at least the feedback that I get from a lot of realtors is that tier 2, tier 3, maybe not tier 3, but even like tier 1, tier 2 cities are picking up a lot. Like, for example, Chandigarh or a Surat or a Nasik or a Gandhinagar. Outside the metros, there's a lot of infrastructure development happening. A lot of companies are coming up as well. So I would assume that maybe you would...
It is. It's definitely happening. I'll just give you like a, example. Chennai, right? Chennai has always been Chennai. I mean, it's tier 1 city. Until 2 years ago, the real estate absorption in Chennai was only about 2 million, right? Whereas, let's say, Bangalore does 18 million. So that's like the gap in terms of the demand that exists. Today, Chennai is at 10 million. Actually, it's grown. There's a lot of demand happening. We only entered Chennai last year, and since then we'll have 3 locations basically in a period of 12 months, and next year we'll be looking to expand a lot more. So I think we'll wait for those type of inflection points in a city. So not to say that we won't ever go to Chandigarh or to one of these cities, but we just want the demand, the amount of supply to be available so that it's easy to grow, right? We prefer to go deeper rather than saying that we'll have
Spreading yourself too
Yeah.
thin is not.
Yeah,
not
all the
possible.
efficiencies hit when we go deeper. The operational efficiency, the network effect, ability to cater to these companies in multiple parts of the city. I think all those things are very, very important for us to keep high occupancies and like just keep